All right, so when you're finished with your intro paragraph and your 3 body paragraphs laying out the 3 reasons that your main idea is true, then you're ready for your conclusion, your 5th paragraph. In your conclusion, you're going to have a few pieces that are similar to your introduction. First, you're going to recap your main idea. You're going to recap or review your main idea for your reader. Then, you're going to briefly, don't go into as much detail as you did before, you're going to have 3 more paragraphs. Briefly recap reasons 1, 2, and 3. And finally, connect back to your hook. If you asked a question in the beginning, like, did you know that 80% of Americans aren't getting enough exercise? Maybe in this sentence, in your conclusion, you say, now you see some ways how Americans can get more exercise. So connect back to the hook you used back in the beginning. Revisit that statistic you used, or revisit that fact, or answer the question that you posed. So make sure that you connect back to your hook, and that'll kind of wrap everything up with a nice little bow for your reader. So those are the pieces that you need to include in your conclusion. But you're not finished. The next thing you need to do is to check your work. You are going to be peer reviewing and having an opportunity to allow me, yourself, and a peer to revise and edit your work. But you should do some of this on your own first. So first, let's talk about editing. For editing, we're going to use the acronym CUPS. Okay? So you probably guessed it. C stands for capitalization. So check and make sure that the beginnings of your sentences have capitals. Your pronouns have capitals. All of those specific nouns, they all have capitals. Make sure that your usage is correct. That's kind of like your grammar. Make sure if you're using homonyms like there, you're using the right one. There's one that shows place, like there that is. There's one that shows people, like they are. That's a contraction. And there's one that shows ownership, there. That is their book. So make sure that you're using all of the correct words. And you can use dictionaries as resources to help you with that. Finally, you need to check your punctuation. You need to check and see that your questions have question marks. Your sentences are stopped with periods to give the reader a break to breathe. And if there's any points in your writing where you want the reader to pause, make sure you have commas there. So go through all of those punctuation conventions and just check over your work before submitting it to a peer to revise. And finally, check your spelling. Because we're typing our drafts, the spelling part should be pretty simple. If the computer has underlined one of your words in red, that means it may not be spelled correctly, and you need to 2-finger click and see if there are any suggestions for spelling. If there's not, then you're going to need to check out a dictionary or defer to a friend. When we're revising, it looks a little bit different. When we're revising, the first thing we want to check for is if we've organized our paragraphs correctly. Did we put the strongest reason first or last? You either want to start with that reason to start off strong with your reader, or end with that reason, maybe saving the best reason for last. So does your organization, the way you've ordered your paragraphs, make sense? Does it match the way you laid out your reasons in your introduction paragraph? Those are all questions you might want to ask yourself when you're figuring out if you've organized it well. Then you need to ask yourself about elaboration. Did you use examples? Did you add details? And if you want to get really fancy, did you add quotes? Okay, those are the two things I really want you to focus on while you're revising. Your peer editor or reviser and your teacher, me, will focus on some different things in addition to these, but I want you to look for those things in your writing. Okay, good luck with your draft.